Like it or loathe it, 2016 is fast coming to a close, which means for many it's time to take stock and reflect on the year that was.
But can looking back in the rearview mirror really help you achieve your goals for next year? Why do we do this reset, or think that we have to do this reset every year? To discuss this, we're joined by performance coach Andrew May. Andrew, good morning.
Good morning.
Are you a resetter? Are you a sort of a review in the mirror? And are you a New Year's resolution type of guy?
In the mirror? I am.
I think you do.
Yeah, I am a New Year's goals type of guy, but I've really learned the last couple of years to reflect, because we sort of said just before, we're counting down the sleeps until Christmas. We're counting down the sleeps until we finish work. I think as we get older, maybe it's life, we seem to be getting busier.
Yeah.
So I find for myself and for my clients, that process of looking in the rearview mirror, reflecting on the year that has been, is really important, because a year is a long time, and we sometimes don't realise how much we achieve.
Now, you've put together a list of things people could perhaps reflect on. We can bring that up now, starting with what went well for you this year?
Let's start with what went well. So what achievements did you have at work? I'm going to throw to you two in a moment. What did you learn this year? How have you gone around your finances? And also, what are you happy about in your personal life?
Oh, don't ask me about my finances. Can I skip that question?
We can skip that one, Mike. Finances?
Skip that one till later.
Yeah, pretty much okay. It's been a pretty good year at work. I think Virginia would agree. It's been a great year for the show. We've had some fantastic stories, 2 big elections, laughing at Paul Kennedy dressing in funny outfits in the Rio Games.
Tick.
Yep, there's been a lot to agree with. How's your year at work been?
Yeah, well, I've started a new job this year, so a new role at KPMG, so it's been full on, going from self-employed to a large organisation. And I was reflecting on this last night, going, I've learned a lot, looking at doing some work overseas as well. So it's been a big year work, big year health and fitness wise. PK and I were talking about, as we get to that magic age of 40, Mike, we sort of tend to do less cardio. And PK's saying about getting the guns out and doing some chin-ups and push-ups. So we're chatting about that before.
Is he suggesting that he hasn't reached that magic age yet, is he?
Yeah.
No, I think he's ticked over, we're saying.
PK's ticked over. You've hit the magic?
Oh, I'm going to be in my mid-40s for the next 8 years.
Of course you are.
I'm going to be in my mid-40s for the rest of my life.
Fitness is a big thing for lots of people, and that's part of a lot of stock takes at the end of the year with, it's very cliche, but lots of people make New Year's resolutions to go off the booze, go off the cigarettes, get fit. They always don't work.
You remember this time last year we had our friend Michael here doing push-ups. Remember that? So that's been whole 12 months.
How many can you do now, Michael?
About 20. I can knock out about 20.
You can knock out 20?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
That's fantastic. Should we believe you?
Well, the first 10 are normal push-ups. The other 10
in your mind?
I've sort of one arm, plank type.
The forearm ones.
Push-ups.
You had some opportunity for growth.
Thank you very much for that. Andrew has put me on the path to physical fitness and core strength.
That's gone from 0 to 10. I mean, you call that a very good curve line.
It was 1.
It was 1.
It was 1. Yeah, I struggled for 1.
I didn't count that one.
Whereas you knock out 50 a day. Andrew?
Oh, that's just a warm-up.
Shut up. We're not here to make people feel terrible at what they're not achieving this year.
I'm joking.
The question is this. When you stop and reflect, and, we do seem to have this hard wiring as human beings that we somehow, every 10 years, something has to change when you enter a new decade. I don't know why. But when we do that and stop and reflect, what actually changes in your life, or what behaviour changes when you stop, reflect and then reset?
It's a great question, because we just tend to finish the year and then go Citius, Deltius, Fortius, 2017, further higher or faster, higher, stronger. Research around this shows that when you do stop and reflect and that process of goal setting, you actually look back and go, I have achieved goals, and your goal setting muscle, for want of a better word, becomes better. It becomes more agile. Right. So what the researchers show, especially with students that reflect on their marks have better intrinsic motivation. So meaning when they look at, hey, I've studied hard, I've worked hard, I've got good grades, I can do this, they then tend to be better at goal setting, not just at uni, but other parts of their life.
You know what I find is great, and we find great at home, is to set lists, to actually write it, type it in a list, print it or write it, stick it to the fridge, the notice board, because if you don't commit it, in my view, to writing, it's not there to be achieved.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's look, I do this for my kids as well. You can do this on chores. Like, did you pack your bag? Did you do your homework? Have you put your shoes on?
No.
But you skipped on finances. So, but if you look back,
he's going to actually ask me about finances.
I'll never. I've tried to get mine together as well. So you can find you good in other areas, and finances is the one I need to work on. But what were the highlights for you?
Turning into a millionaire was pretty good. making that second million in the second half of the year was great.
And the serious highlights?
And then buying all those investment properties in Noosa was terrific too.
I was actually being serious.
I've got them on Airbnb. I'm making a fortune per night. No cap for me. I'm
Only
not
allowed
going to do
28
that.
nights. Yeah. But on a serious note,
Yes,
you look back
on
and
a serious note, I'm not answering you.
what were the highlights, say, for you?
The highlights of the year. There were many highlights, but I actually want to answer the question about what I learned. And I think what was really interesting for me as a journalist and sitting in this role, what I learned was that it was okay for me, I don't know if it's okay for the viewers, but it was okay for me to feel stories and to connect with stories as an ordinary civilian and human being, as everybody else watching these stories might be. And sometimes stories here on this program affect me very deeply. And for most of my journalism life, and it's been a long time as a journalist, I've maintained, sang-froid. I've had ice blood in my veins, and I don't have that anymore. Wow. And then for a while there, it was resisting that. Well, you've got to have ice blood, you've got to have ice blood. And now I think, no, I don't. Because everyone else at home is running to turn the TV off or running to mute it because their children are listening, or putting their hands in their ears because the story, as with Syria this morning, is so appalling. And I'm sitting here and I'm feeling it too. And I'm not judging myself about that. That's what I do, and I think that's what I bring as a reporter. So good or bad, that's what I've learned.
Okay.
And we
You asked a serious question, Andrew.
Yeah, that's great.
Do you find it's harder to...
Much harder.
Like a case in point this morning, the situation in Syria?
Very hard.
We've spoken about Brené Brown before and vulnerability and bringing your full self to work and emotion. So huge learning. Yeah.
Andrew, yeah, great to have you on the show. It's been lovely having you all year as well. I know you've inspired Michael a great deal. Me, you've just made me feel like crap because I can't live up to the Hellenic ideal that you bring here. But I'll be aiming for faster, higher, stronger, louder next year.
Been one of my highlights too, the banter and fun is the fun thing.
Yeah, let's try to have fun.
Make sure we have fun. Look at that, just not about money and career. It's what have you done for fun? So thank you. Lovely learnings.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thank you, Andrew. Yes. I'll aim for 30 next year.